So again, welcome all. In case you have any question, in case I go fast, you can always drop your questions there. We will be sorting us with the questions before I finish with my presentation. And then after that, you'll be sharing with us the news, what has been happening all through the week. So without wasting any other more time, let me just go direct and share my screen. I hope it's visible enough for all of us. And of course, today, what I'm going to share with you is news that was, it's data that was shared with us around August. So that is Q3 of 2021. And of course, you can read from there, the global crypto adoption index. Worldwide adoption jumps over 880% with peer-to-peer platforms driving cryptocurrency usage in emerging markets. So the adoption is growing because of only one thing, and it's emerging markets, meaning that more people are getting to learn about cryptocurrency, more people are getting to know about Bitcoin, and more use cases as they're coming, more people are coming on board. So of course, why they did this, and I'll be sharing where you can get this data, is that the goal of this index is to provide an objective measure of which countries have the highest levels of cryptocurrency adoption. On one way to do that will be simply ranking countries by transactional volume. That's one way you can check, or you can check the metrics using transaction volumes. But of course, they say this would favor countries with high levels of professional and institutional cryptocurrency adoption, like the US, where we have a whole lot of institutional investors putting billions and billions of money with it. So they don't want to do transaction volumes. Of course, these will go down to other market segments, move the large sums of cryptocurrency. And how does that happen? Of course, we have the professions and institutional markets, which are crucial. It's also good to highlight the countries with the greatest cryptocurrency adoption by ordinary people. These are now the masses, and these will focus on case related to transactions and individual savings rather than trading and speculation. So basically, the data that they came up with, more so, it was not for people who just buy for trading and speculation. It was people also who were buying to hodl, and also a daily transaction of this. So we have a map here that will show you that, of course, cryptocurrency is taking off around the globe. And this is from Chainalysis 2021 Global Crypto Adoption. And of course, this map is, of course, done based on 3 metrics. And number 1 is total crypto activity, trading activity of non-professional users, and peer-to-peer exchange trade volume. So, of course, this data is based on a scale of 0 to 1, with 1 having the dark gray, and of course dark blue, and then with 0 being the light blue. And you can see from that map over there, of course, we only have one country that scored 1, and that is Vietnam. Vietnam scored 1, and is the only country above 0.4. It's the only country above 0.4 in terms of crypto adoption and growth. So I'll be breaking these down more and more. So of course, let's talk about, it's the second year of Blockchain Data Firm released its global crypto adoption index. And this has ranked over 154 countries worldwide, according to the metrics such as peer-to-peer exchange trading volume rather than gross transactional volume, which typically favors developed nations with high levels of professional and institutional crypto buy-in. So this time they're not using the volume because, of course, it will favor countries like China and US. We are using other metrics, which is peer-to-peer exchange trading volume. So Chainalysis is one of the best crypto data collectors and analysts, and they usually do a very good work. So these are some of the people you should follow for you to get very good metrics or very good data analysis. They're called Chainalysis. Of course, they said The purpose of index is to capture crypto adoption by ordinary people and to focus on use case related to transactions and individual saving rather than trading and speculation. The metrics are weighing to incorporate the wealth of the average person and the value of money generally within particular countries. And the reason is why today I decided to share these is also to show you that as you're continuing to learn about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and blockchain, it's also good to know that who else globally is also getting to learn and getting to adopt the same. Because I think we usually say we still are the early adopters, but I think once the ship leaves the harbor, a lot of people will be trying to catch up. Why? Because, of course, if you don't get to understand that countries are waking up and people are getting on board, you'll be left behind. So most of the top countries are emerging economies. It's good to note also that a lot of emerging economies are now adopting cryptocurrency, these including Togo, Colombia, and Afghanistan. So it's good to see that such countries are also coming on board. But of course, it's also good to note that the United States slipped from number 6 to 8th place, while China, with the crackdown on Crypto Spring, dropped from number 4 to 13. So you can see also that the tables are turning. Countries that were leading in terms of crypto adoption and stuff, China, of course, is really affected because they are pushing their CBDCs, cracking down on traders and also Bitcoin miners. Of course, people are no longer actively really involved in crypto, and that's why they have gone down to from number 4 to 13. Of course, US also, there's a whole lot of debate in terms of cryptocurrency, and of course, they have gone from number 6 to number 8. So the Chain Analysis Global Adoption Index, these are the top 20 countries based in the 3 metrics. And of course, I have these photo over here, which shows yellow is Asia, gray is Europe. Africa, we have blue, gray, dark blue, or navy blue, and then South America is light blue, and then North America is aqua. So basically, of course, you see Vietnam is number 1. It's the only country that hit the scale of from 0 to 4. It hit 1. India and Pakistan, of course, they follow suit with 0.37 and 0.3. Ukraine is there as number 4 from Europe with 0.29. And Kenya is number 5 globally, of course, with 0.28. Just note that Kenya is being ranked number 5 globally in terms of crypto adoption and growth. Nigeria comes number 6 with 0.26, and Togo also beat South Africa in terms of countries in Africa. I think South Africa is being ranked close to number 15, 0.14. Why I talk about South Africa is because South Africa is one of the countries that really were leading in Africa before Nigeria. But right now, I think adoption is going more to Nigeria and Kenya, with other countries like Togo also in Africa coming on board. So I'll be sharing these if somebody wants, of course, to read more on it. And now, if I may go to dig deeper on what we are sharing today. Vietnam, in terms of index score, is number 1. Kenya, you can see there we are number 5 with 0.28. And ranking for individual weighting metrics feeding into global crypto adoption, there are 3 ways you can rate that. And number 1 is on-chain value received. And with that, Kenya, we are number 4. We are number 41. On-chain retail value received, we are number 28, but for peer-to-peer trading volume, Kenya, we are number 1. Globally, we are leading in terms of peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer means people buying and selling cryptocurrency individually, like from one person to another, either using platforms like Local Bitcoins, Binance, and such. So Kenya, we are leading in terms of crypto peer-to-peer exchange trade volume, and this is really amazing. You can see Togo also is number 2 in, and I like the fact that they are number 2 in terms of peer-to-peer. Number 3 is Vietnam. And then Tanzania is number 4 in terms of also crypto peer-to-peer trading. South Africa has gone down to number 62, which tells you for South Africa, it means more people are not traders, more people are hodlers. Peer-to-peer means a lot of people buy and sell. You know, there's a lot of exchange going around, and Kenya leading that. It means a whole lot of people maybe in Kenya are traders. They're just buying maybe after a small fraction of maybe increase in profit, they sell. There's a whole lot of exchange in terms of peer-to-peer. So it's good to know that. So of course, as we continue, global cryptocurrency is skyrocketing. And of course, out of the 154 countries index scores, made up of 3 components we described for each quarter from quarter 2 2019. And I want just to read for you what has been happening. At the end of quarter 2 2020, following a period of little growth, total global adoption stood at 2.5 based on summed up country index scores. At the end of quarter 2 2021, the total score stands at 24. So you can see from 2.5 to 24, that tells you there's a whole lot of volume that went up. Suggesting that global adoption growth has grown by over 2,300%. That is from quarter 2 2020 to quarter 2 2021. That's 1 year. Since quarter 3 2019, and over 881% in the last 1 year. So this is from quarter 1. The 2,300% is from quarter 3 2019. And for the last 1 year, we have 881. So the research suggests that reasons for this increased adoption differ around the world. In the emerging markets, many turn to cryptocurrency to preserve their savings in face of currency devaluation. Some of the reasons that are making cryptocurrency grow is number 1, currency devaluation, especially because of inflation. Number 2, reason as to why there's a whole lot of growth in terms of adoption is to send and receive remittances. And I think a whole lot of people do this because of their transactional fees. They're much less. And then number 3 is to carry out business transactions. We've seen a whole lot of other businesses do accepting cryptocurrency. So with that, of course, people tend to move from traditional way of paying and buying goods to the new ways. While adoption in North America, West Europe, and East Asia over the last 2 years has been powered by largely institutional investments. So other emerging markets, you can see the reasons are currency devaluation. I think I also saw something in terms of Zimbabwe wanting to also go crypto way, because we know one of the currencies that has been globally affected a lot in terms of hyperinflation is Zimbabwe. So number 2 is send to receive and receive remittances and carry out business transactions. But if you go to North America, Western Europe, and Eastern Asia, for the last 1 year, it's just institutional investors pumping money into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So moving on swiftly, in the year where cryptocurrency price rises dramatically, each region's respective reasons to embrace the asset class seems to have proven compelling. So of course, let's go to peer-to-peer, which is one of the greatest movers or greatest thing that has led to the market grow. So adoption in emerging market grows powered by peer-to-peer. And of course, it's good to note that several countries in emerging markets, including Kenya, Nigeria, Vietnam, and Venezuela, rank high on our index, in large part because they have huge transactional volumes on peer-to-peer platforms. When adjusted to PPP per capita and internet using population. Our interviews with experts in these countries reveal that many residents use peer-to-peer cryptocurrency exchange as their primary on-ramp into cryptocurrency, often because they don't have access to centralized exchanges. So you can see in Kenya, like I said, local Bitcoin, Binance is one of the places where you can buy and sell cryptocurrency using your M-Pesa, using your mobile money transfer, or even your accounts, easy, without a whole lot of hassle. So knowing that, it's no surprise that the regions with many emerging markets account for huge portions of web traffic to peer-to-peer websites. So it's good to see that Kenya will leading there. So other places like Central and Southern Asia, Latin America, and Africa send more web traffic to peer-to-peer platforms that the regions whose countries tend to have large economies, such as the Western Europe and Eastern Asia. So many emerging markets face significant currency devaluation, driving residents to buy cryptocurrency on peer-to-peer platforms in order to preserve their savings. And I think this is something which we will see happening. In fact, I was just sharing with Louis today in the morning in the office that somebody just tweeted and said they bought 2 cups of coffee for $16. And of course, they joke there and say inflation is of course a good thing. Of course, they are joking. And I was telling him 3 years ago, a cup of coffee was $2. So you can imagine today, 1 cup of coffee is $8. So you can imagine how much inflation or how much dollar has been affected in terms of inflation. If in like 2-3 years you can buy a cup of coffee that was $2 to $8, you will tend to hold more of your your currencies in cryptocurrency or your savings in crypto than in fiat currency. So others in these areas use cryptocurrency to carry international transactions, either for individual remittances of commercial uses, such as purchasing goods to import and sell. Many emerging markets represent here limit the amount of national currency that the resident can move out of the country. Of course, there's that issue of how much can you send out of the country. So with crypto, I think you can do that. You can send and receive a whole lot of money online. So that, of course, is another thing that is leading to a lot of people now adopting crypto, because if it can take me a day or two to send somebody over $10K, and it can take me minutes to do the same, less fees, more secure, and he or she receives the money within a short period of time. Of course, people will go and will adopt more on crypto. So cryptocurrency gives those residents a way to circumvent those limits, this kind of limits, so that they can meet their financial needs. Of course, this is what has contributed to an interesting dynamic whereby peer-to-peer platforms have a greater share of total transactional volume, made up of smaller retail side payments under $10,000 worth of cryptocurrency. So, of course, you can see these are cryptocurrency platform share of transfer size. And of course, blue over here is large institutions, which you see in this metric is not even showing anywhere. And then the darker blue is also institutions. It's nowhere there. And then we have professionals. Professional, you can see they have the smallest bit part of there. And then large retail, of course, we have there, and then small retail. And you can see in terms of decentralized exchange, of course, smaller retail are leading with over around 58%. In exchanges, we are almost hitting 74%. Merchant services, it's over 80%, and then peer-to-peer, of course, it's close to 90%. So you can see small retailers are the people who are moving, or who are taking the market by storm. So, of course, that makes sense given that the use cases we describe as remittance, payments, personal and commercial transactions are carried out by merchants in emerging markets are likely to be smaller than transactions carried out by professional or institutional traders. I want to talk about the two biggest economies in the whole world, which is China and the US, and why they dipped in the ranking. So, of course, we have seen China and US. China has gone to number 13. US currently is number 8 from number 6. China has gone from number 4 to number 13. So, of course, it's good to know that China ranked on our global adoption index while number 4, while US was number 6. This year, US ranks 8th and China number 13. So the biggest reason for both countries dropping is that in the ranking, in peer-to-peer trade volume weighted for internet using population declined dramatically. China fell from number 53rd in this component to number 155th, while the US fell from 16 to 109. This term of peer-to-peer, these terms in terms of peer-to-peer, but in terms of the metric index on a global platform, China is number 13, US is number 8. But in terms of peer-to-peer, of course, with China cracking down on crypto, people who use crypto, you can see they've gone from number 53 to number 155. And US, of course, number 16 to 109, which tells you that, which shows that how far peer-to-peer volumes have fallen in the two countries compared to the worldwide volumes. We show this index chart below, which shows the relative in terms of peer-to-peer US and China compared to worldwide total. So of course, China and US have lost track in terms of how many people do peer-to-peer. But in terms of institution adoption, of course, we have these guys who are buying a whole lot of deals. So peer-to-peer transaction volume in the US and China moved roughly in line totally until a beginning of diverge of 2020. At this point, US and China see their peer-to-peer transaction volume shrink as the rest of the world grows, while all the three dipped dramatically beginning of March 2021. The US and China dipped more, remain lower than the worldwide in terms of totals. And I think another key thing is that with, I think US in particular, the inflation rate hit the all-time high of 6.2, which has never happened. And I think, of course, a whole lot of people are not buying to trade anymore because there's no need of you holding dollars anymore. So I think people are just buying cryptos for hodl. So there's no, and I think this is one of the major reasons as to why US has dropped in terms of peer-to-peer. People are not buying to trade. They're buying for long term, just to hold or to hedge against inflation. For China, it's because of the crackdown of people who are doing the trading. So what will drive the next wave of adoption in terms of cryptocurrency? Of course, data shows that growing transactional volume for centralized service and explosive growth of DeFi are driving cryptocurrency usage in developed world in countries that have already had substantial adoption. So DeFi and of course, centralized services volume is what is driving countries that have already know, like China and US, where we have a lot of growth in terms of adoption. But peer-to-peer platforms are driving new adoption in emerging markets. So emerging markets is peer-to-peer, substantial adoption of countries that are developed and they know well, it's DeFi and of course, centralized exchanges. Our biggest question for the next 12 months is how much adoption will continue on those platforms categories compared to the new and emerging models we have seen yet. The clear takeaway through all these is that cryptocurrency adoption is skyrocketing, has skyrocketed for the last 12 months, and the variation in these countries contributing shows that cryptocurrency is truly a global phenomenon. And this credit goes to Chain Analysis, who have done a very thorough global index and analysis. And of course, if you want these, we can share with you more. I just picked what I thought was necessary. So it's good to know that in the next like 5 to 10 years, with emerging markets or emerging countries markets coming up in terms of peer-to-peer trading, I think crypto in terms of growth will go to even will jump higher. And how can you get, how you as an individual can you benefit from this is number one, education. Keep on learning so that you can also get to know what to invest in, what cryptos to hold for long term. Like I always say, if you really want to make it big in the crypto space, forget about get rich quick schemes and go for long term use case, and also what we call fundamental analysis, and then you can also benefit in anything that is coming. So with that, that ends my presentation for today. I hope you've learned something new. I want just to pass the baton to Luis so that he can share with us more on what is happening globally in terms of news. So just 1 second, Louise, let me just make you the host.
All right. Thank you so much, Lawrence, for that run through about the crypto adoption index. I think you may have seen that we have really grown in terms of in the index, whereby now we are at the same level with Nigeria. And you know, of course, Nigeria has, I mean, more than 100 million in population. Kenya is just nearly half of that. So that shows that we are actually in good in the right trajectory. So the best that you can do is just keep learning and know what is happening within the cryptocurrency environment, and also how, of course, you can make the best out of it. So thank you so much, Anthony, Kennel, Simon Toto, and also Memo, who joined us today. This is being recorded, so we shall post it on the YouTube channel. We can share the link later if you want to watch a repeat of the same. I've already shared the link about the Chainalysis report, I think, on the chat. You can, if you want to have a look at it, so you can, of course, click on the link, and then you can have a chance to go through in detail what we shared briefly. But today, my part is just to share about the key highlights of news that happened this week. There was a lot of news, but I'm just going to cherry pick the best that stood out. So jumping right in, there's one from Daily Hold. It says market choosing Bitcoin and crypto over paper money. That is as per Pantera Capital CEO Dan Mohead. Lawrence just took us through about crypto adoption index, and you are seeing now more markets are now choosing Bitcoin and crypto over paper money, which is actually plays in well with the inflation, I mean, the talk of inflation that is going on within this year, actually. So the chief executive says the market is choosing Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies over money with which governments are conducting a very dangerous experiment. That is now talking about of course, the fiat-based currency. So he further says, that is as per now the company that he heads. Pantera's core post-pandemic micro theme has been the unlimited printing of money will push the price of things whose quantity cannot be eased. So Lawrence gave a very good example of coffee. A simple thing as coffee was $2 a few years ago. Now it is it 4 times or 3 times that? That is what you're talking about. Moving on, I'm sure you, most of us, we love our iPhones from Apple, and Tim Cook is the CEO of that company, and now he says he owns cryptocurrency and he's been interested in it for a while. And these are people who they've been like looking at it from the far, but now they're coming out clean that as you can see over there, Apple CEO Tim Cook said he personally owns cryptocurrency on Tuesday at this week, a DealBook conference. So Cook said that he has been interested in cryptocurrency for a while and that he has been researching on the topic. So Cook said that his interest was from a personal point of view, and this news suggests that Apple, the company, might take cryptocurrency in exchange for products as tender or buy it with corporate funds. So I think this is just these guys. I believe if you believe in something and actually, as he says, from a personal point, means if it is good for you, then it is good for the company. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing Apple providing some support for the cryptocurrency and blockchain system now in terms of the company. Moving on to China, we are seeing over there China's digital currency used in transaction worth $10 billion. That is what? That is 140 million people have 140 billion people have digital yuan wallets in China. That is huge, and of course we've been seeing the progress since 2014 on how China has been taking CBDCs and digital currencies on a serious note. Now we are seeing 10 billion worth of dollars transacted already on the platform. Moving on across to Indonesia on a negative note, Bitcoin halal. Of course, Muslims now in Indonesia have been told not to buy Bitcoin or crypto, as it is now declared haram in Indonesia. Of course, that is specific to the country. Doesn't apply to Muslims all across the world. So as you can see over there, leaders in Indonesia have forbidden Muslims from using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The National Ulama Council, which serves as the country's authority on Sharia compliance, announced on Tuesday that cryptocurrencies were haram as they contain elements of uncertainty, wagering, and haram. But the government, so to be clear, the government of Indonesia has not banned Bitcoin. In fact, they have more than 10 licensed exchanges, actually 13, as you can see over there. In May, Indonesia Commodity Futures Trading Regulatory Agency revealed that there were around 4.5 million cryptocurrency investors in the country, even more than the stock exchange itself. So the country with 229 different cryptocurrencies legally traded across 13 licensed platforms and exchanges in the same country. So of course that negates all that what the Sharia Council has come out to say. So another news based on in line with what we talked today, Bitcoin tops $69,000 after hot inflation numbers released. So on Wednesday, as you can see over there, Bitcoin price surged to on Wednesday morning after the U.S. Department of Labor released data showing a sharp rise in price of consumer goods, stoking investor fears about mounting inflation. So it is evident, and of course, as you can see here, Bitcoin is the one that is gaining ground of this, because now people want assets or other things that don't lose value with time. So Bitcoin traded above 9,000 after the department said that the Consumer Price Index (CPI) increased its as it fastest clip since 1990. The CPI, which tracks the pricing of goods services ranging from gasoline to rent, picked up 6.2%, while CPI increased by 0.9 on a monthly basis. So I think that is a very serious news. And if you know what you know, I think Bitcoin and other forms of like sound money is now where you should be thinking of hedging yourself from. And another news, University of Cambridge to launch decentralized carbon credit marketplace on the Tezos blockchain. So this is another use cases that are coming up on other cryptocurrencies. So in a Friday morning announcement, the University of Cambridge revealed that it could be building a novel decentralized carbon credit marketplace to support global reforestation efforts. So climate is a very big issue as years goes by, and of course people are trying to come up with solutions and also things that help to still to use climate on a positive way. And now you are seeing blockchain being used for that. So the initiative known as Cambridge Center for Carbon Credits, or FOCI, is based in the Department of Computer Science and Technology and the Conservation Research Institute. So scientists and researchers will build marketplace for the Tezos blockchain. Of course, this is now to trade the carbon credit value that a company gets through time. To other news, Miami to give Bitcoin yield from Miami Coin to its citizens. So of course, Miami is one of the states in the US that have taken Bitcoin to a higher level. To now, of course, they are promoting it. The last biggest Bitcoin conference was in Miami, and now the governor of Miami says, mayor of Miami says that they're going to give out a Bitcoin yield based on the Miami coin, which is now native to the state. So of course, that is going to be interesting as we go forward. To some other news, Zimbabwe finally, or rather 2 days ago, announced that they are going to be working on thinking about Bitcoin as a form of currency. Now they say Zimbabwe denies reports of adopting cryptocurrency as legal tender, but of course they are saying they are working on their own central bank digital currency. If I maybe read a quick quote: "Our local currency is the Zimbabwe dollar and not cryptocurrency, like most countries in the world. The government of Zimbabwe, through its financial group, is studying the central bank digital currency as opposed to cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin or other form of derivatives. So these are, in my view, it's a misplaced statement. I think I don't think he really knows what he's saying. I think it's just news, but of course there are very many convincing, conflicting statements from there. And then lastly, as we finish, the biggest news I think for us is of course the Taproot upgrade of Bitcoin that is coming up this weekend, and of course it's going to be to scale Bitcoin to some level. So I think that actually ends our session today. So maybe Taproot is basically an improvement to Bitcoin protocol that is going to improve how it's going to operate. Of course, it's a very detailed report, but it is good for Bitcoin and it's good for Bitcoin development. So I think with that sums up my my share. It was quite brief, but of course, I'm grateful that we've been able to tackle it. So any questions as we come to an end? Any questions? Let me see on the chat whether there's any questions as we come to the end of the session today. So we are really grateful for showing up every day. For us, we are committed. We shall keep always informing you, filtering through all the information, and we'll try our best to give you the right information, of course, that is beyond the hype. So let me see, Kennel, do you, as